I was just making sure we didn't have to stop being friends.
Oh, wow. Not stop being friends over a TV show.
Suitemates. All right. Our very first episode, we are reviewing Bridgerton. Am I saying it right? Bridgerton.
Yeah. It's gonna be right today.
I feel like it's Bridgerton, but cool.
Bridgerton on Netflix.
Hey.
And it will be rated on these categories, with yes being 1 point and no being 0. Well, let's get into it.
Simon Fine. That's all.
Bruh.
Bruh. And he know it.
And he knew it. I was like,
yeah. I thought he was fine, but I also saw Rome Flynn, the guy from How to Get Away with Murder, who was like Wes after Wes was killed. He looks just like him, and I was like, they could have got him, but I guess they were trying to do the whole British thing.
I didn't want him though. I like the one they chose.
Okay. The girl, I was kind of like, she's reggae. She wasn't like,
yes, but I think she was good for the role. Like she had the innocent look.
Well, she was good for the role because, like historically speaking, that's what she would have been.
Mm-hmm. And she was really fair
into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did she do? She did that. That's what she did do.
Yeah, the brothers I thought were casted well.
That's what I'm saying. Loki, all the casting was good because who I was supposed to hate, I hated. Who I was supposed to like, I liked.
What you hate?
Anthony. So the fact, I hated Anthony. Like I wrote in the first episode, I was like, do we like him? Like
who is Anthony?
We're gonna have to look up the Bridgerton cast on Google.
His brother.
The oldest brother. Oh yeah.
We could talk about him more, but I liked his character. But we could talk about him a little bit.
I mean, shoot.
Okay. What about so the Queen? It wasn't until that episode where they let them know that she was Black that I was like, oh, she Black.
Are you serious?
She looked Black to me, but I wish the aunt grandma role was the Queen, because then I would be like, oh, they really didn't care about color. But the fact that they had a fair skinned Black woman as Queen, I was like, it took the afro for me to be like, oh, she black. When they did the afro
so when you started wearing that afro thing, I was like, oh, she Black. But even like I'm looking at her picture now, she's a little bit darker than what she was in the movie.
So because her Queen makeup artists didn't know how to do her skin. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, at the end of the day, even though we see Black characters in this show, these people ain't Black.
What do you mean?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Like, you know, when you go to see a play, like say you watching Shakespeare and you got Black people on stage doing the play. They Black, but the character not Black.
Yeah. Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
and you could tell that's what
so
the
the
show
shell
was.
is Black, but not the actual person. I like it.
Right. So they just we got to see people that look like us, but this show ain't about us. It was good, but this show ain't about us.
And there was only white and Black. I legit was like, but where are the Asians though? Like I guess that maybe made sense in England back in the day, but I was just like,
yeah, the casting wasn't diverse at all. Like based on the trailer, made me think, oh, we about to go there, like dark skins. It's gonna be mixed. Oh, yeah, I did. But then when you actually watch the show, I'm like, what is going on? The casting was not diverse. I think they just put us in there just so we wouldn't complain. Like, it wasn't diverse.
Who directed this? I think it was
I don't know who directed it, but Shonda Rhimes was like a producer or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was the executive producer.
So I think we really need to vote yes or no on casting, because we've touched a lot of these topics, and I think we need to Figure out what we think about casting.
What about, what's that girl name? The pregnant chick.
I don't know her first name, but it's Thompson? Marina. Okay.
Yeah, Marina. I just saw a picture and I remembered she's the one who I didn't like, so I'm gonna say no for casting.
You didn't? Wait, hold up, girl.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no for casting too. Say no for casting because of
one person. Let's note that.
Overall, not one. I'm saying like overall for all of them, I'm gonna say a no and a strong no because she was included.
Well, I'm gonna say yes for casting. I like them, especially the main characters. So
I'm gonna say no for casting because it wasn't diverse.
I'm gonna say yes for casting too because them people played their role. They did what they had to do. Yeah. My yes for casting is based on acting and not on diversity.
Diversity, what we calling it? A big no.
No.
It was beautiful. The dresses and everything was great. I don't have any complaints about that.
Now some of the dresses, what's the name wore was a little childish sometimes.
Yo.
A sparkle nightie, but
the mom wore one though that was kind of like a coat, like a trail coming. I like that.
Was what I didn't understand was why, what's that, the Featheringtons. So not the Bridgertons, but the one across the street.
The Featheringtons.
With the friend. Why, even though they all went to the same, what they call it? I'm gonna call it boutique.
Okay.
Why they dresses had to come like that? Like I know obviously they chose the fabric and everything, but despite the colors and design, it was never like, oh, you didn't pick out a good fabric, but you know that style of the dress was nice. It was always
mother was tripping. She wanted ugly fabric and ugly dresses, and she was like, "Oh, they're gonna love you because of the colors that I chose." Ma'am, what? She has no taste. No.
Yeah, she had bad taste.
You saw the kind of husband she chose, so.
Yeah, that's another lesson we gotta get to.
Okay.
The point for me, yes, for fashion.
Yes, because of the time period, but a lot of it was ugly.
Yes, for me too. Yeah. They did what they came, they played their role. Like somebody, the damsel in distress, I'm looking for my Prince Charming to come and save me. Not necessarily this prince. He cute, he's, that's good, but I want this man. And, the girl, she was pregnant and had to stay in her room because, that is an abomination. That's an abomination. Like, the acting was just so good. The man, he, like many men, he didn't want to get married. And he made it very clear. The acting was good. The acting was.
Yeah, it was. The sexy acting, sometimes they were hit or miss for me. Because I'm like,
I mean,
especially the part where they were in the library and he gave her a head, I was like, that wasn't good acting. Everything else was good, but
that's the thing. Like first, when I started the show, I thought it was serious because I didn't watch a trailer or anything. And then when it started, it was so quirky. I was like, I'm not gonna like this show, first of all, but I'm gonna continue watching it because I said that I would. But then it kind of changed, and I was like, okay, not bad. But a lot of it had like quirky parts that I was just kind of like cringe. But most of it overall, like the acting was really good.
I think the acting was good. I think, who was it? My favorite Ellie's character, I know for sure, was Eloise.
Yes! Me too!
And I feel like in comparison to Eloise and Marina Thompson, I don't think Maria Thompson sold her role for me. Like she wasn't 100% confident in the fact that it's like, I know what I've done, the way I fell in love, the way I got pregnant is outside of what society wanted me to do. But like, and I know obviously she had to marry and everything. So obviously she wouldn't be homeless like the other people in the hood part, obviously. But
this lady took her to the hood. She took her to the hood.
I think Eloise was more confident in her thing. Like, even though she was like, I don't want my sister to get married, because then it's like, now you up next. but she was still like even out and about in public. Like, yes, I should be dressed with all this extra stuff. I'm not doing that. Yes, I should be over here at least checking the guys out. I'm not doing it. Where the Marina girl was like, I'm waiting on my husband, whoever the dude was, and then sometimes she'd be like, when she was talking to what's the little Penelope. I just yeah.
But you said that she wasn't out and about. She came to a new like place though, and the lady legit had her in her room.
No,
like,
I know that. No, but it was more like when she like hit the scene, and it was like, oh, guys, like and it was like I'm trying to think of a specific part when I was just like, she didn't sell it enough for me.
No, I completely agree. Her character was lackluster. I would definitely have skipped her parts if I didn't want to see the whole story.
Like when she would give her to like an older guy, like the older man, and when she would be like, I'm not smiling for him. Right. It was like, you could have said that better. We already know you black. You see the curl pattern. Like, come on, like, go there. There's not a lot of y'all here. Go there.
And she was the poorer person, so she should have had more street cred. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But she was already all the things that are negative. Now you want her to be like over the top with it. She black. She pregnant. And she needs to get married so that she has somebody to take care of the child. Now, black, that's like a side thing because in this time we know that she would have actually been a white person. But still, the fact that they put her on our screen and she was black and pregnant without a man in a time where you need a man in order to, not in order to take care. Let me take that back. It is in order to take care of yourself because at this time, the only way that you were able to even get money was because a man had to get it. Mm-hmm. So to have her be extra on top of that.
Okay. Oh, so you're disagreeing with what Miss C said. I agree too, because we don't even know how Black people acted in the 1800s. They were not the way they are now. So that's probably how they were. Like,
but in this show, there was no color. They addressed it. Well, we gonna talk about that later. But they briefly addressed the fact that there was no color. They were all integrated. So they really didn't see color the way we're looking at it from our society.
Yeah.
So that's why I agree with Miss C, because I feel like she should have just been more confident. Because the way they described her character, like Lady Whistleblower.
Whistle I was thinking whistleblower too, but Whistledown.
Whistledown.
Yeah. The way she described her was not the way she acted. And you're right, she did not give that confidence. Even when there was a part of the story where they said she's the most wanted woman.
Yeah.
She wasn't acting wanted. She was just like,
I mean, but then again, she was like, I got a man. Like, I don't care about them.
She had a man. Like, even the rest of them, remember when they, like, let's use today's terms. When they have a couple of people they talk to and then a couple of people that they're actually courting with, like, I'm going to the ball more often with you. She didn't even do any of that. It was just suitors, like.
What they say in suitors? Or no?
Yeah, suitors.
Callers. They were calling and calling. Oh. Can you imagine having people come to your house? Like, they standing up in lines and no ma'am, but go ahead.
No, please.
But they had gifts. They had gifts.
Mm-hmm. Okay, come on, let me see what you got.
For the whole family too.
For the whole family, yeah. And I don't know, she just I didn't like her.
I didn't like her because of how she tried to treat Colin, and clearly Penelope liked him, so.
And that's
I don't agree.
No, listen, I know we gotta wait for the lesson, but my thing is the fact that she was able, so this is why I strongly don't like the way her character was, like, I guess, developed. Like you said, what was written about her, she didn't show it, right? And then at times when she wanted to be on when the mother took her to the hood, and was like, this is what you're gonna end up, she turned to her like, I'm not scared of this. Like, we've seen this, and I appreciate these people because they're hardworking people. So you peep certain things when you ready to peep it.
Yeah.
Like, you able to, like, tell me what it is, but you didn't peep that Penelope this whole time was like.
She did. She completely did.
Everybody else but him.
She did.
And then had a nerve to tell her he see you like his little sister. Oh,
but he does though. But he does.
No, but that's not the point.
So what is the point? she basically was like, you never gonna get him. So step aside. But anyway, side note. Y'all know Eloise and Penelope are like 30-something-year-old, like the actresses.
What?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They look
young, so we could probably be casted in future.
Not in one of these shows. They're gonna be like, we're gonna be wearing them white wigs
and fanning the queen, because that's all we was there for.
Oh.
What did y'all think about Nigel Berwick?
Who?
Is he the old man?
Yes.
He played his role.
Yeah, he did. He was a good actor. I believed him. If I saw him in something else, I would be like, oh, I don't like him. Not, without even knowing what he was. He did really good.
That's how men be for real. They be some creeps.
So that's a yes on acting for me. The music, I didn't think it would have been everything that we hear today.
When I heard Ariana Grande on the first,
same.
Thank you. Next.
I was walking around and I heard it and I was like, maybe it's just me because I was playing music earlier. And I was listening, I'm like, let me turn on a closed caption so I can see what songs they playing. But yeah, they was playing all the recent stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Taylor Swift was in there.
Yeah, it was good, but it threw it off for me because I'm like, so what time period is it?
Exactly.
And it wasn't until episode 4 or 5 where they said, oh, it's the 1800s. I'm like, y'all waited this, but that goes into the story. But I was just like, they lost me there.
When I heard it, I was excited about it because I knew the song, but I also was like, hold up, that was not out yet. Calm down. Like, what are we doing?
Yes, but in this day and age, how are you going to keep people interested in the 18th
Have a good story.
Which some of you guys believe they did. And that brings us to the story.
Right. We'll be right.
So it's a no on music for me because I don't think they stayed within the right time period.
Same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's yes for me.
It's a no for us in general, altogether, majority.
Okay.
All right, so the story.
What?
So you thought the storyline was good?
You thought it was good?
Hold up. Explain why no first.
I hear Shondaland, I expect excitement from minute 1 to the last minute. I did not get that. I got it the first 3 episodes and then the last episode. There's no way that anything with Shondaland should have me like, what's going on? That's why I said no to the story. Maybe I was expecting too much, but no.
I mean, she was trying something different. Most of her shows are more like around
suspense. Her stuff is more suspense.
Yeah, this wasn't that.
They try to make it suspenseful because I feel like, okay, so I was on episode 2 when I was like, I could have sworn I was on episode 6.
They felt long.
It was slow, and then I think it was episode 4. In the middle of it is when I was like, ooh, and then it was like, okay, maybe not. Like, and it was a lot of that. Even when after she got married and went away, it was a lot of, ooh, okay, maybe not. And I thought maybe because she didn't want it to be a whole conflict thing, like all this conflict and drama with, during these times, but you can tell she was trying to go that way, but not all the way there.
Yeah. She was playing it safe with some of it.
Yeah. And it was real, certain episodes and scenes was real cheesy. And I was just like, I thought most of it was surrounded around Whistledown ton. So the way they made it seem like all of this episode's gonna have all this, everyone's a little relationship, everyone's a little life, but it surrounds around the fact that this unknown person knows everyone's business,
like
but
Girl?
No one can identify, identify who she is. So I'm like, because at the end of the first episode, she was all like, even though I know you, you don't know me. And I'm like, ooh, okay. It's going to be about her. And it was never really about her. And we're not going to talk about who she was, because I was just like.
I mean, that's probably what's going to lead up for Eloise's story. Like, because she started like being interested in finding out who she is. So it might be like other seasons she's going to pursue that, but they didn't want to get too much into it in season 1. Because they have to leave us wanting something.
I'm wanting a different show.
I liked it. I don't know, man.
Same. Because after a while, I realized that it was just a cheesy show.
So y'all were saying y'all actually liked Anthony?
I didn't dislike him, especially at the end, because you see, like, first of all, he was trying to fit into a role for so long.
Okay.
And then at the end, he realized that he actually did like the girl that society cast off. It was too late for him, but the point was that, you know, he figured it out. Like, why am I living my life based on society when I want to be with her?
I like Anthony because he was the only one, to me, who stayed true to him. Because he was like, girl, I don't want you. I don't want you. I might be having a little bit of feelings right now. We could try to run away. But I think he brought flowers just to tell her off. I don't think he would have really been with her, to be honest.
I disagree. I feel like he saw his sister do what she wanted to do. And he was like, oh, well, I can do that.
We're allowed to do that?
We can do what we want to do? Oh, yeah. Let me go back to the hood. Get my girl.
I feel like that was only in a state of pressure, like, because he, being the oldest, I got to take on all this responsibility. I don't want it, though. I don't want this. That's why I'm playing around.
Handle it. He did a trash job. And he talked to his mother way too disrespectful for me to like him.
But I feel like I think that was the role, since he called himself the man of the house. I guess he was in the position to talk to
No, he didn't call himself the man of the house. That's what he was supposed to be, because he was the oldest and dad died.
But I think it's like a non-verbal thing. The next oldest got to step up. So at the end of the day, if you got to take on, you know, responsibilities that your father did, I'm expect you to carry it out like your father. So you're not going to talk to me like my husband now. But we on equal levels in a sense, but remember, I'm your mother.
Which he didn't. He legit wanted to die rather than be the oldest.
That probably was his way out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he did that because him and Simon were friends and he knew Simon was about that life. So he was like, I'm going to go there to defend my family.
Low-key, Simon didn't lower his gun though. I feel like he was just going to let him shoot at him.
That's what he said. He said that he was a terrible shot. He said he can't shoot, and
I mean, we saw that. He missed Simon, he missed Daphne, and they both were in front of him. Maybe compared to Anthony, he was about that life, but he cannot scrap. He cannot fight. Like, y'all saw him get beat from that guy, whatever his name is.
He's a professional boxer, though.
Exactly. And that's a big man.
He was, not just that. If he could fight, he would have did something, but all he did was get hit. He did not hit him once. Not once.
No, you're right. He didn't hit him.
Like, this whole time y'all fighting, you don't know to bob and weave. Like,
you made two good points. Simon either is suicidal or is something off, because when it was time to duel, he just gave up. He was willing to die. He wants to die too much. And then when his friend was fighting him, he didn't even fight back. He just wanted to feel that pain.
His dad did. That's how his dad was coming at him. So that's his comfort zone right there. Like, pummel me.
I think maybe it's all that mental pain that he experienced as a kid was too much. So it's like, you know how people say to get over whatever pain you're feeling, you can, like, you know, people might burn themselves. Maybe that was his way of saying, like, to get out my head, I need you to beat me up. And like, think about it. When he saw old dude Nigel grabbing up on Daphne in the garden, Daphne knocked him out, and he was just like, oh, I guess you got it done. I didn't have to do it.
Y'all, so let's talk about
the father, Featherington.
I don't even think he died. What? No one thinks he faked his death. Made it seem like there were some like kind of bounty hunters for whatever all this money that he probably owes.
Oh,
but
yeah.
The fact that he didn't leave whatever was the money in the house or whatever the case, whatever he had, made it seem like I'm taking the money with me.
They took it.
But I feel like they took some of it. It was his way of saying, okay, well, if I give you some to shut me up, will you also say that I'm dead so I can be relieved of my duties? Like, I don't got to worry about paying for 3 people's weddings. All my wives. Like,
that guy Scar, and I wanted to know so much more about his character. That guy Scar who killed him, I don't know if y'all remember him. The attractive black guy, he had a scar on his face. I was like, oh yeah, he's just dead. And when he walked
into the room,
yeah, I was like, oh no, he's dead. I feel like they could have made that part more exciting, but obviously this is more a kid-friendly show.
And there's no bodies. Like, if there's no body, I always think they're alive.
That's why he faked his death.
Where he gonna go?
I don't know.
The same plan that everyone's trying to run to.
Yeah. Wherever Anthony's gonna go. Across the board.
At first I thought he raped that little girl, the way he was watching her.
Me too.
Sir.
Well, like, anytime the wife came with something, leave her alone, like, nah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, that's his child, or that's somebody he wants, or something.
I thought it was his child or his mistress. And I was like, he raped her.
It was completely not that. So I was just like, especially when it got close to around Eloise trying to figure out who Lady Whistledown downtown is. They threw too much out there at once. Because even me, I was wrong. I don't know if we all was wrong, but I know I was wrong. But the people Eloise was looking at was not who I thought it was.
Of course. I think just the Featheringtons relationship just in general was weird. Like, you've got 3 kids and you really only making it where 2 of them are available bachelorettes. And then you got the youngest. First of all, it was really confusing because, as a middle child, it's really the middle child that don't be getting stuff. So to see like the youngest one has to wear yellow all the time. Like, that's really weird.
I think it was because she was thicker. And I think that was the underlying message in this, that if you thicker, no one really wants you. You always gonna be the friend. That was a stereotype in this too. Like, she wasn't as pretty, but to me, she looked better than her sisters.
Exactly.
But they kept downplaying it like she was ugly. Nobody would want you. So
nobody was really checking for the first 2 because they were.
No, they weren't. But the mom was like, let me do what I can to make these 2 look good.
Yeah. She did not like her. Like, in one of the first scenes, she was telling her about, don't read to confuse your thoughts. What? Mm-hmm. So what are we supposed to do? Just sit, look pretty, and hope a caller comes to our door? Because, ma'am, they really just simplified a whole woman to, you have to wait till a man wants you. And I was not with it.
But then I started thinking how much of these relationships are still relevant today. Because a lot of people mamas be just prepping them to be good wife or mother. Like, they always make like little comments. Like, I remember growing up, my mom always say, no man want no filthy woman. What I'm thinking of a man at that age for.
Yeah, it's a no for the story for me.
Okay, well, in that case, stories is a yes for me.
Same, I liked it.
Yeah, the relationships, especially the mother-daughter relationships, those were toxic. Like, those were horrible. Like Daphne and her mother, when after she got married and she asked her mom about sex, and she just kind of like played it off like, girl, basically she was like, girl, I thought you been having sex. Like, what you mean?
She was like, it's okay, passion happens. I was like, mother.
But if you caught in that specific garden with a man, it's a problem. But she thought she been having sex. Like, which one is it? It's giving me confusion.
But I took that as in, because she kept saying, oh, you guys have the perfect relationship. I want to be like you and dad, you and dad, you and dad. I felt like her not telling her exactly, you know, how kids happen and everything was her way of saying, I thought you're already doing this because this is how I low-key chose your father. Like, we was in the garden.
Mm-hmm. And she knows Simon's reputation. So she was like, oh, ain't no way.
They glazed over that too, because he was obviously a known hoe. So I was like, there was parts where I was like, okay, does he already have a child? But it was like a secret. That might come out down the line. But I think the relationship and lessons overlap. Because to me, Simon and Daphne, once that man said he didn't want to have children, why did you keep putting yourself in a situation
when you wanted to, you didn't change your mind?
Like that whole relationship, I'm like, girl, he don't want a child. And low key, she kind of pressured him at the end to have a child. And I don't get why that was so romantic to so many people. After the show, it seemed like a lot of people were like, oh, we love Simon and Daphne. And I'm like, that was a toxic relationship. It was very manipulative.
Who was manipulating?
Both of them. And I feel like she already at some point when she decided like, yo, I'm actually feeling this dude, she started, well, we're going to have to go a little longer on our little ruse. Let's do more ball. Let's be seen here. So she started manipulating him.
I know what it was when he touched her back. I was like, yo, a little back touch and you all here like
it's like, we gotta continue. And he's just like, okay, fine. Especially if in his mind he's like, well, we're not gonna get married anyway. I'm emotionally attached, but I won't marry you. But I will say we can be friends. I feel like it would have went that way if they stuck to, and Daphne wasn't out here trying to trap a man. He would have been like, have I developed feelings? Yeah. Did a thought come? Like, can she be the one? Yeah, but I don't want no kids, and most of the women do, so I'm gonna leave it alone. And when they went to that ball with the prince, and she ran outside, and he followed her. He's still up in the garden, all up on her. And they're gonna be like, the brother come out. Oh, you gotta marry her now. Oh, nah, bro, I wasn't trying to marry her.
I cannot. So I cannot.
What are you trying to do? I think he was just one of those guys who wanted to know at that moment, do you love me? Yeah. Well, you know we can't get married because I don't want to have kids. You want to have kids? Yeah. Well, I'll let you go with the prince. I'm fine now that I know that you love me and I love you.
It sounds like that's just to get his emotions met. I know she loves me. Now she can do what she want to do, and I probably can, dip over there whenever I want to.
Oh. I don't think he would have.
Daphne, right? Yeah, but he would have. No,
I don't think he would have. He seemed like a different level of what Anthony was. Like Anthony
don't they
was just
always?
Okay, well, we rating this.
Well, relationships really make the story. As toxic as they are, without those relationships, there wouldn't be a story.
Like the brother and the opera singer, to me, I was just kind of like, but you don't want her. Like everybody's relationship, I was like, but you don't want them like that. Like you really don't want them like that. Like, what are we doing?
So that kind of brings me to the question, like, do you think their relationships would have been less toxic if they were allowed to properly have relationships? Because they weren't. Like most of their relationships were like, this is the person I want to marry. So they weren't able to like play the field or realize what they actually like or anything like that. So it was like, yes, I'm gonna be toxic because I'm just in this, and now it's like it has to be a permanent thing.
And I feel like everyone, and I know of course there was social classes and everything, but if everyone was up for grabs, regardless of like if those events where they all went, if that opera chick could go, I think he probably would have maybe a little bit seasoned with salt liked her.
If you have to say all of that, he didn't like her.
I don't know. Like when you said, is it because they didn't get to play the field? I think the other part of the show was they showed that even though they were married, they were also unconventional. Even if I'm married to this person, I can still, there's a group of people where I can still play the field. And when Simon was telling Daphne, oh, we could be married for appearances, but do your own thing. I feel like they were able to play the field while being married. Even the wives party, the wives were like, yeah, I got an extra man. And then Daphne was like,
the difference is they never showed it. Like you get to see them, you get to see the men doing whatever they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
But that
you say women hide better. Wait, so I have one more relationship I want to talk about. The father Hastings, his father, whatever. Did y'all see this man come into the room after his wife gave birth and grab the child and leave?
Yeah.
What? He let that woman die and he didn't even care.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even care.
I don't even think he came back
about his legacy.
He did it. And then when the boy couldn't talk, all of a sudden, that's not your son.
So, low-key, I can kind of understand why he made that threat to him on his deathbed. But
do y'all think he should have changed his mind though? Like, you told this man, I will never marry and I'll never have kids.
He was like, that's cool. Okay, we married, but we're not having no kids. Now that I'm not taking back.
And then he did.
We don't know if they had kids.
Yes.
And that's what I was going to say. We don't know if it was his. We don't know the arrangement because it kind of skipped until she gave birth.
At the end of the day, his dad is dead and doesn't know that the name will continue.
Agreed. That's why he shouldn't have made that kind
really just said whatever he wanted, and
to hurt him in the moment. That's true. You're right.
But I also think if someone says that they don't want kids, you should listen to them, because who knows how he's going to be as a father. And she's just so like, oh no, you're going to be different.
Yeah. He saw nothing of the sort, so it's like
not a mother or a father.
The fact
that Lady Danbury did what she wanted with him, kind of like took him to school, nurtured him a little bit, and then they were like friends.
Do y'all think he was the Duke's son though?
Yes.
Yeah, they kind of brought that up too, in a low-key way. Then it probably wasn't his.
Whatever the lady was who was tending to the house, she was like, I told his mother she had to do what she had to do or something like that to get
have a child. Because she said it wasn't always the men.
It wasn't always the woman who can't have children.
Yeah, it wasn't always the woman.
So I was like, ooh, could the Duke not have children?
I'm questioning if it's around that, because I don't think Daphne and Simon's baby is Simon's biological child, because I really don't think he can have kids. I think it's going to be like history repeating itself. I feel like his mom, to your point, that probably wasn't the Duke of Hastings' biological son, and that's probably why he treated him like that, because he knew. That's probably why he snatched that baby up like that when he was first born. He knew.
But he ain't care, because he just wanted a son.
Exactly.
Until he couldn't talk. And the thing is, he could talk, just had a stutter, like.
Exactly.
I wanted to know, just so I can better understand why he was the way he was.
The father?
Yeah. Other than being a bitter black man, probably, and mean. But how did he get that title? That's what I wanted to know. And he was a black person with that title. So is it something that they gave to them so they can have titles and start coming up? And
they said when the queen married the king, that's when they started giving them. But I don't know why they chose him though.
The father,
Hastings?
Yeah, Father Hastings. I felt like him and Simon's relationship was so crazy. It wasn't Daphne's place to look at those letters, because I was
so mad at her.
Talk to you about this, and then I was that's the only time I was mad at Lady Danbury, because I was like, that was something he should have told his wife, not you running your mouth. I did not like that part at all.
He didn't talk about anything with her, really. His communication skill is poor. Like poor.
That just showed that's why I did not want them to be together. I wanted Daphne so bad to just be like, F this, I'm gonna just do what I want to do. But obviously she wasn't like that. I think Eloise would have been.
She actually did do what she wanted to do, and that was marry Simon.
Who did she do what she wanted to do with? The mother wanted her to marry Simon.
No, I'm guessing
but you know that she fell in love with him. So even though like the relationship wasn't perfect, or isn't ideal at all, of all the choices she made, the choice that she thought was best. So instead of not getting married, instead of marrying that old man or marrying the prince, she married Simon because that's what she wanted to do.
She was stupid.
I mean, she definitely was. These people did not know how to use a stove.
Right, with the milk. That was crazy.
I can't cook, but I could turn a stove on. I could hella turn a stove on. Legit, like they were trained to be a wife, but not to do any wifely duties other than bear children. They weren't even prepped for how children are formed.
That was crazy.
And that to me
out and was like,
yeah,
like, ma'am. And secondly, like, sir, it's not 100% either, so she could have been pregnant anyway.
Either way.
A message from the suite. The method referred to as pull-out is not 100% effective. It is not foolproof. She will more than likely become pregnant. You're welcome. Now back to our program.
How could you prepare somebody to be a wife but not prepare them for anything? Like,
how old do you think they were? Because me and my mom and my sister were watching. My mom kept saying she must be like 16 years old. Do you think that was the age? Because I thought she was older.
She probably was older, but she acted 16.
Yeah, and he had to be older.
Oh yeah, he was a grown man.
Yeah,
over 25. I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm. Daphne seemed like a kid.
She had this extreme innocence about her.
I think that's what Simon liked about her. He wanted someone who was untouched. That's what.
And he acted like he didn't. He was like, "This is not my place to tell you these things." Yet you really went in when you told her, though.
Exactly. That part got me mad.
I was mad. Like, she didn't realize that he was always pulling out. Like, I was upset that she didn't know, because that, to me, that's one of the lessons. Like, women, you should know your body first, which I appreciate for Simon to tell her to have that experience with herself. But you should know your body and also have a conversation with your partner. He made all the decisions for her.
That's what I don't like. He kept saying, I cannot give you children, but you could have said that I don't want. The way you were phrasing it, you knew what she would think. Like, you knew what she would think. So yeah, he was manipulative. Y'all right.
He was.
Duh, yeah.
Should have known that when he'd rather have died than marry her.
Once he said that, I would
crazy.
have just stood there to see him dead.
Said, well, shoot him, please. But I also was mad at her for, he said, I cannot marry you. Let's do this dual thing. And then he walked away and she's like, don't worry about it. We're going to get married. Excuse me? Okay. Didn't we just sidebar and say, no?
Not.
And when they finally talked about it, he was all like, I trapped you. I really feel like he was mad because it was I'm attracted to you and your innocence and all this, whatever I fell in love with, but now you ready to give up everything that you are, in a sense. Like, you told me you want to get married. This is a family life that you're trying to have. Once I said that, you ready to go, like, bump it, we still gonna get married. I really feel like at that point he was like, I'm not attracted to her the way that I was, because you quit to settle.
Anytime he withdrew, I got mad at him, because it's like, first of all, you couldn't talk as a child. Now you can. Use your words. Like,
he was too quick withdrawing even after getting married. Like, when they settled in that house, he's like, I got papers and all this stuff to work on. I'm busy. Me, I would have been like, I'm gonna stay at my mom's for a while. Like, you ain't gonna see me for long. Because he was too quick to withdraw in a situation that wasn't even that serious. You just coming back and trying to get back into the business and it matters. Yeah. So that would have been like, even though she had mad red flags, that would have been the number one red flag in the marriage.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
I don't know, because, you know, his job was to really run that town, and he'd been away lollygagging with her, so he had a lot of work to do.
So what was so important that he had to do it right that moment? You've been away. You didn't care. And he went, before they got married, he wasn't even going back there. He was
that's why he had so much work and he was busy.
And I didn't like when Daphne confided in her mom for marital advice, and her mom was like, no matter what, just work through it. Love at the end of the day. I wish my mother would. Are you kidding me? You don't know what's going on. Don't tell me just to stay.
So relationships is a no for me. There we go. We got it. Because these relationships suck.
I mean, they were entertaining to watch.
They were. Relationship is a no for me.
You know.
Yeah, relationships, no. Even though I didn't like the story, it was entertaining at some point. So.
Same. I sniggered.
I like corny, so I one of my favorite parts was like, "Ooh, the paper coming out. I wonder what it's gonna say today." Like it just felt like tea. Like it was literally tea time.
Yeah.
And to your point, that's when I knew it was Penelope, because when she got mad at her little cousin and then all of a sudden her business in the paper, I was like, oh, that's Penelope. Like she running her mouth.
And not even that, Eloise. Oh my God. And I know that was her best friend, but she kept saying it has to be someone who's close to your family, but it can't be a maid. I'm like, ma'am, who else is smart enough reading books? Not her sisters. So it has to be Penelope.
Well, if it's your best friend, you're not gonna think it's your best friend.
At one point, of course, when she bugged on her, everybody don't have, like, she low-key called her childish, let's just say that, but she wanted to get married. So I guess that's why I didn't think Penelope either. Maybe, but I didn't think Penelope was too second. Like, she was always with Eloise, she was Robin, but even with Marina, it was a sidekick thing. Right. So I was like
sidekick to everybody.
She can't think enough on her own. It can't be
that
her.
was the point.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe she was sidekicking not to be the center of the story, but to get all the tea. You know what I mean? So it's
and at one point in the story, they slick almost figured it out, because they were like, oh, it's not a paper today, and who's not here at this party?
But I was kind of confused. Why was Julie Andrews the voice? It was Penelope. Like, I was like, so is she, like, it just really confused me.
They wanted to, like,
throw you off.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you put Penelope voice, Penelope got a little voice like mine, a little TT voice.
And not even that, like, she would have said one word and we'd have been like, oh, that's Penelope. Like,
oh, okay.
Maybe she took words in her head. Like, maybe she took on like a older woman role and was like, this is how it is now. All right. So entertainment, yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, look at it. This is the first thing. Wait, did we say?
Hey.
Looking like
rewatchability. Now, what is okay? So when we say, is it I won't go into season 2, or if I decide to rewatch this entire season, I won't do it? Or both?
You want to address it? Both? No, I don't know.
The only way I would rewatch is if y'all watch it and tell me, oh, it's really good. That's the only way I would watch season 2. I would rewatch. I wouldn't even rewatch this show. I really wouldn't.
I think I would rewatch it because the way it ended, I hated it. But the way I thought about another season coming was based on just solely Eloise and girl, her friend, Penelope. Because Penelope's still trying to hide who she is, but Eloise gonna find out. And I think it's gonna be well, you ain't really want to do this university stuff. So that's the only way I can see myself watching it, if it starts off that way. And they need to be like adults.
They're saying your boy Anthony's gonna be the star of second season. He's gonna find love. So,
but he said he don't want love, so I don't want to see that.
This will be another season of us talking about why you with someone who don't want you.
Yeah. No, it's a rewatchability. Like, would I watch this on free time? No. Would I, if season 2 come out, would I, you know how I like to rewatch the old seasons?
Same. I definitely would rewatch.
No.
But I would rewatch the relationships and story that I like and skip past everybody else.
Oh, would you rewatch Najee?
Probably not.
But would you watch the next season?
Yeah, I'll watch the next season, but based on watching like the whole season over again,
be in a relationship and a dude don't want you. And then the whole kid thing, manipulation.
The fact that people were out here reducing women to only marrying. Even in this society, like, people don't say it, but if you're not married, people act like if you ain't doing nothing.
like something.
And they look down on the women who worked. I noticed that too. Like the woman who was doing the sewing, the opera singer, they were looked down.
The talented ones, the ones who could use stoves.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a lot of lessons in here. That doesn't mean that they were good lessons. Like, wait on a man. You need a man to do things. That was a lesson. It's not a good lesson, an accurate one either, but that was a lesson.
Yeah, I know the little video that's out.
The girl was just like, we are not therapists for broken men. And then some black man, you come in, we are not banks for broke women.
I forgot
It's crazy that men say that, but yet they want to provide so bad. Like, which one is it? You want to provide?
They don't want to provide.
Or I'm not supposed to ask.
I think they want you to choose how they can provide. That's where I was going with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's going to work in any relationship or marriage, because you're not going to pinpoint and dictate. And it's not me saying I'm controlling your money or anything, but you can't tell me when I need something or when I can have something.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Bring back up that Marina Thompson sucker punched Penelope. Like,
oh, we didn't get to that yet. Earlier we didn't talk about that. To me, Penelope, I think this is a lesson to women or men. If you like someone, tell that person. Don't be playing the field. Oh, he gonna figure it out, because they not.
They not.
And Marina, even though what she did was kind of grimy, the way she said it, to me, she was well in her right. Girl, he don't want you like that.
That's true, because he had plenty of opportunity.
Plenty.
He was saving her at times, but it was definitely like, I'm gonna look out for my little sister, my friend. Like,
yeah, bro, I got you. That's all that was.
I'm thinking Penelope, minus her being shy and not like, she wasn't going to tell him anyway, regardless, based on her character. But what if she didn't want to tell him for the fact of, I do like you, I would consider you as being a caller or a suitor, but I don't want to commit to this right now, right? She was the youngest.
I didn't get that.
That's
I disagree.
not what that is.
I disagree.
That's not what happened.
No,
Because
ma'am.
he didn't have a problem committing to Marina. Now I can't.
He even said, if you would have told me you were pregnant, I would have still been with you.
Okay, but remember, she was still into reading in her studies, and she was pushing him. And I know she was pushing him to travel. Maybe that was her way of saying, you gonna grow as a man, and then we gonna come back. Stop laughing.
That was her way of saying.
You're bringing your personal.
I really care about you, and I want the best for you. I care about you, and I want the best for you, and I see that you want to travel. So I see you need a little push. So here you go. I like you. Now I'm just waiting on you to tell me you like me too. I'm showing you. I like you. Now tell me it back. Say it back. But he didn't do that. He didn't want to.
Of course not. He didn't like her.
I think he could. Okay, so remember,
he cared for her like a little sister. Don't.
Okay, I'll say yes to that. But do you remember at that ball when Simon and Daphne came up with the whole plan?
When he danced
with
with her?
that old girl. Do you remember? Okay, so the girl spilled the drink on her. She did it on purpose. And then he looked like, that ain't cool. Come on, let's dance. Okay, so at that moment, I was like, okay, that was a brother thing to do. Like,
not even brother, like, you're a good person.
Yeah.
But he kind of gave her a, you didn't see the little look he gave her, like a, yes, you are.
No,
like
I didn't. I didn't.
When he was dancing, he was having so much fun. And it wasn't like, I'm dancing with
my friend.
Is dancing not fun? Of course he was having fun.
I think he looked at her like, oh, wow, you are a little grown, or, oh, you are attractive. But that, to me, that wasn't enough to be like, oh, I'm not going to war.
I didn't see it, Missy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But
like,
he
okay,
knew Penelope his whole life. They probably took baths together. This is my friend.
You're right.
The underlying thing was Penelope was the fat, ugly friend. Like they didn't say it, but that's
the role they gave her. You're right.
Yeah, that's the role they gave her. So I didn't see her finding love at all this season. And it's sad to say. Like, I didn't see her finding love. I don't think she'll find love until, if they keep having seasons, maybe season 4. They're not going to get...
Not even 3?
She's not dead by that point.
I would say season 3, like the end of season 2 going into season 3.
Listen, the point is, all these people married someone who they did not know, even down to the Featheringtons' mom, when she was like, why are you, when Marina asked her, how did you make 22 years with him without love? And she was like, well, after some years, I found other things to love that made me love him.
Like what?
Kids.
He was trash.
Like the house, probably.
Which she gave over the deed for.
Yeah.
Without talking to his wife.
That's true.
I think they could end up in the end, but not the way she is right now, the way she acts right now. Like, she has to grow up before he
and
even, like...
secure.
Yeah, she is insecure.
His character is, they're the perfect brothers. They're all really attractive. So for her, well, that's what they say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if they're portraying that they're these gorgeous people, she need to be ready for all the women. Yeah.
You saw how the maid laughed when she said, "You think I have time to write?" Yeah. When they basically,
do you know all I have to do to wait hand and foot on you, and you think I'm gonna sit down and write?
And write.
Girl, you don't get out my room.
That was a funny scene.
And then she tried to command her, I command you as mine. And she looked at her like,
I mean,
she said, girl, I changed your diapers. Don't be coming at me like that.
That is a lesson though, because we be talking to our parents reckless after we grown. But they did change our diapers.
Wait a minute.
Well, they chose to.
I don't think we be talking to them reckless. I think we voiced our opinions and thoughts more than we did as kids.
Okay.
And it seemed as reckless.
But the way we voice it, though, sometimes, I should say sometimes.
Okay, so sometimes, yeah. But I feel like a lot is, at least with kids being adults, because, you know, you're seen but not heard. Mm-hmm. Or certain things you can come and talk to me about, but other things I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Or that's just how it is. So now that we're adults and it's like well, I'm not repeating the cycle. 1,
mm-hmm.
2, I think this is actually going to help me. So let me talk and tell you how I feel or whatever I'm thinking. It's like, ooh, you being grown, you being fresh. Who you talking to? It's like,
and not only that, as a kid, you're legit just like a sidekick in your parents' life. So it's just like you do whatever they decide, but then when you're grown, you decide like, okay, this is where my life is going, and they become a sidekick in your story. So it's kind of like, I'm the main star, so my voice is going to be heard, you know, because the main star is always heard.
I like that analogy.
Oh, thank you. Definitely.
Yeah, I feel like G liked the show a lot more.
I liked it too. I really liked the show. And even though their relationship was toxic, I really liked Simon and Daphne's story. It was like, I wouldn't want it to be my story, but I loved the story.
But for them, it was good.
Yeah.
So what's the total score? Let's see.
Well, that's it for today. Bye.
Bye, Suitemates.
See you next time. But you cannot have my spot on the couch, okay?